So CLD portion, I frankly tell you, I just read whatever you sent me, sir, and I went with that.
That is also very comprehensive, mind you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Almost
Yes, sir.
every aspect
Because
of it.
that is one part that if I start reading it, it would probably take a month or so of its own. Good evening, sir. I'm so sorry. I had to I just reached home
No,
and
no, I understand. There's some wedding also planned, right? On the
yes,
same
sir.
day.
Yes, sir.
That's
So
okay.
it's like too many things at once, and I'm leaving Indian Oil as well. So everybody's there, like, okay, meet us, like.
Everywhere, everyone must be very happy, right? Because
Yes, yes, sir.
you have found your name in the India's most noble or that PDF.
Yes, yes, sir.
चलिए तो इसमें क्या है कि वही यूजुअली जो सवाल होती है राइट नॉर्मली कैसे तैयारी किया एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा ये सब मैं पूछूंगा राइट और
Yes,
प्रयास ये करना है कि द पर्सन हु डोंट एक्चुअली अटेंड दिस आई मीन जो आपको नहीं जानते हैं यू हैव टू कन्वे मैसेज टू देम राइट
hmm,
टॉकिंग टू मी तो वही स्ट्रक्चर रखेंगे राइट
yes, sir.
ठीक है शुरू करते
Yes,
हैं फिर
yes, sir.
ओके यस आशीष सो कंग्रेचुलेशंस ऑन द वेरी गुड रिजल्ट दैट यू हैव गॉट.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So one thing which I think is quite remarkable, right, that while doing, being in a full-time PSU job, right, still you were able to do it, right? So that is really remarkable. So when did you start preparing for law optional, right after college, or I mean, between third and fourth year you only started?
Sir, actually, while in college, I was not really looking forward to give the civil services examination.
Okay.
So I did not have this vision in my mind that I would probably sit for this examination one day, or I would prepare for them this exam. However, I studied from the Banaras Hindu University, and we had some very good teachers, especially for substantive law, be it the constitutional law, international law. We had very good professors. So I had that innate interest, at least in public law, because of these professors only, because the way they taught these subjects. So I think to some degree the preparation started then, even if I was not conscious of the fact that I am preparing. But yes, I would say that that has helped. The whatever I've learned in my college has definitely helped in making sure that I have my basics very clear. So, but proper preparation, if you ask me, uh, it started only when I decided that I would give the UPSC Civil Services examination. And to be honest, the kind of pattern we've seen in last few years, we're never sure that we would clear prelims. So
Okay.
just before prelims, it becomes such a run to the MCQs and everything. The optional often gets ignored, and it only becomes a very serious issue when you've cleared prelims and it becomes okay. Now
Right,
I
right.
have to do everything. So yes, that is there, and that is also I have prepared like in between my attempts after mostly very rigorously only after clearing prelims I have rigorously prepared. But I had my notes made. I had my notes made even before that, even before even starting to prepare for UPSC, because as I told you, I had
Go to
very
college.
good professors. Yes, so I had kept those notes with me.
And you have simply revised it again and again, right?
Yes, I did value addition. I think de facto IS has really helped me because the articles you have are on, like, for instance, the updates we get. So I read those updates and I get a gist of that update and I add it into my notes that, okay, how can I, add a edge to my answer with this particular update, which de facto IS has given. So that is how I kept improving my notes as well.
Thank you very much. Now, one thing I wanted to know, right, specifically in your case, right, this, although there are in this foundation batch also, I think there are three, four people from, your alma mater, BHU. But BHU is mostly known for judges, right? All the judiciary. So how come you started, went into for the civil services? Any specific inspirations or just like that, ki, okay, once you joined the PSU, you saw the charm of civil services and thought that, okay, let us go for civil service.
Sir, actually, it's very true that in my college, most of the people who are sitting for any competitive exam, if they are going for advocacy or for that matter, any jobs with the firm, that is different. But if they're sitting for competitive exams, it is either for judiciary, and if not judiciary, then it's for the public prosecutor exam and all of these other exams. and they do exemplary well. Few of my batchmates, my juniors, all are judges around the country, and I'm really proud of that. But it never appealed. The entire idea of being a judge actually never appealed to me that much. So never I thought, like, it's just I don't know how it works, but I never thought that I would want to become a judge.
Okay.
However, for civil services, I think this question actually came up during my interview as well.
Why
Uh,
civil service? Yeah, during interview, yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
you have a niche in law because you've taken law optional. You've not even left law there. You are a law officer with Indian Oil, so you've continued the law. Why do you want to leave this niche? So the kind of versatility and diversity this job offers, the civil services offers, is exemplary. And I don't think any other service in this country or even around the world, because everybody is building a niche. This generalist approach is something which I see in this service only, and I really like that. So that is why I was attracted towards civil services more.
Acha, one thing I wanted to ask is that if suppose there is a student, right, and who want to self-prepare, right, then how much time do you think is ideal for self-preparation? Obviously, I know, I mean, depending upon the capabilities, there are multiple, time frame that how much you have studied in college, right? But still, as a journalist, what do you think? How many time is required to prepare for law, sir?
Only for law optional, sir?
Yeah, only for law, sir, not for the whole services.
Yes,
GS
only
paper
for
we will
law.
talk later, just law, sir.
Yes, sir. Only for law optional, I would say, if a person is ready to commit more than six. So, to be very honest, sir, I could not commit more than 6 hours even on a single day in my preparation, because that is like my limit for reading. Apart from that, I would used to read and read other things. I would read a book which is written by a good author, be it on a law point or otherwise. But I would not read the syllabus more than 6 hours. So for law optional, I think if you are ready to commit 6 hours daily for a good 2.5 months, 3 months, and very consistently with a good strategy, uh, I think you will be able to cover the syllabus. I think the key is that, sir, law optional is pretty vast. You
Mhm.
have to limit your, scope. You have to follow one book, and I understand sometimes question come haywire. This year as well, I think the second paper was a surprise, at least for me, I would say, because there were some questions which I never expected. So you should prepare from the PYQs. You should understand the pattern, and you should prepare accordingly. There'll be some surprises. You should be ready for that. Otherwise, I think you can prepare well within 2.5 months, 3 months.
Okay. Now, let us turn to academics, right? So, what are the things or the notes or any specific book that you referred for the purpose of constitutional law?
So for the purpose of constitutional law, we used to, while in college also, we used to read from the book authored by Professor MP Jain. And we also used to refer to the book authored by Acharya Durga Das Basu sometimes,
Mhm.
whenever there was some question which we need to like research on, perhaps.
Mhm.
So these were the two books. I did not refer to Durga Das Basu that much. I mostly refer to MP Jain. I made my own notes from MP Jain from the very beginning, and as I said, I kept adding things to it. I also read a lot of non-fiction novels, books which were on constitutional law. So I used to, whenever I used to get an anecdote which would be, which would improve my answer somehow, I would just import those anecdotes in my notes, and I would just complete it, and then probably reproduce it in exam if possible. So that was my strategy for constitutional law. MP Jain was the bedrock, I would
That
say.
was the base book, MPJ.
Yes, yes, sir, yes.
Send across that anecdotes that you are mentioning, right? So I can pass on to the students also. Okay, that will be very good addition. Okay, now what about international law? What resources did you refer for that?
So for international law in college, we used to refer to a lot of sources, because we used to have this research bent on international law because of our professor there. But while preparing, by the questions of UPSC, I understood that they are not going far and beyond as far as the question of international law goes. So mostly I prepared from basic books which are available. I think there is a book by S.K. Kapoor, and I am doubtful of the book. Why? Because I have prepared those notes so long. If you look at my notes, you would see that this is probably an ancient manuscript or something, because I've just kept writing on that only. I've continued, and therefore the book and sources are a little dicey now. But public international law also, the fact of the matter is that I keep one book as base, and then I keep developing on whatever articles I get or whatever anecdotes I
Then
find.
you are the, I mean, only candidate this year that have said that, okay, I mean, till now, right, that I have not referred to Dukis because it is Dukis all along, right? Everyone Dukis, 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 right? So that is good. I think you genuinely, read international law in detail. That's very good. That's very good. Okay, so what about paper two specifically? No, let us talk first of the most diverse subject that we have in the CLD portion. So how did you handle it?
So CLD portion, I frankly tell you, I just read whatever you sent me, sir, and I went with that.
That is also very comprehensive, mind you.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Almost
Yes, sir.
every aspect
Because
of it.
that is one part that if I start reading it, it would probably take a month or so of its own to actually prepare it. So that was a great initiative, I think. And the best part about de facto IAS is that there are some initiative you do not even know it exists. It just comes on your mail and you realize, okay, this
This
is
is
a blessing
something
in
great.
disguise we're getting.
See, this is
So
the beauty of a small institution, right? They do more, but very non-effective communicator, right? We are doing. Like for
yes,
example, if it have been a organization with huge money, they would have splashed the ad, newspaper ad, ki this is free, right? So that is
yes, yes,
something.
sir. But it was, I think, for CLD, I actually downloaded each one of those notes into my iPad, and I made my markings accordingly, and whatever value addition was required, and I would do it on the side page of it only, and I prepared mostly CLD from that part
That
only.
was
So
sufficient.
nothing else. Yes.
Okay. What about this law of contract? And specifically, students have doubt with regard to the bigger law that we have one topics, right? Like we have the Sales of Goods Act, which we study in entire semester, right? Similarly, we have an I Act. So, how did you prepare the whole Contract Act?
So for Contract Act, for the major contract part with the Contract Act, I refer to Avtar Singh. Apart from that, the smaller acts actually, because I told you that I couldn't like commit to those 3 months which I was talking about in the very beginning, because it was more of a phased manner that I would commit 2 months now and probably 1.5 months once I clear prelims.
Mhm.
So those small acts often get ignored, to be honest, sir, because you're like, okay, ये तो मैं कर लूंगा whenever I get time, है ना? And those acts actually become very difficult when it comes to the exam. If they give any mandatory question, you've written beautiful answers of other questions, and this answer becomes, you yourself know that this answer is weak.
Okay, yes.
So for such acts, negotiable instrument, and perhaps a sales of goods act, I actually went on the internet and I searched the notes, and whatever notes I could get, I actually read from those notes only. I will be very honest that I did not prepare these smaller acts well, because, and that is why I do not know the marks yet, sir. But I
Come,
think,
I think today itself it was supposed to come, or tomorrow it will come.
sir, I think today or tomorrow it will be released, so I'll
No.
have a better
See,
picture then.
sometime
Hmm.
once you study the contract, these are referred as special contract, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
ultimately, this contract is built on the basic premise itself, right? So
yes, sir.
must have written good answer. I'm very sure you must have got, the way that you study. Sometimes what happens, see, once you read Dukke and all, you
Hmm.
get marks 270, 280 is okay, right? But that additional thing, something, extra that you're saying, okay, I used to read multiple books
Hmm.
from all of them, that would have sparkled it very nice, right? So let the marks come, let us see what happens. But still, that is a very good.
Yes.
Okay, so how about crime? How did you study crime?
Crime, sir, I had notes from like my college. There was a book by P.S.A. Pillai that I referred to. That is the standard book, I think. And I made first for crimes and contracts. I would say that because there are a lot of sections, and every section has a definition, ingredient, and then again there are case laws which define it further. So
Mhm.
I made first I made an like normal notes in which all of these things were mentioned, and then I found that it's very difficult still for me to just glance it and kind of memorize it.
Okay.
So what I did was I made even smaller notes, and these note making exercise was basically so that I'd write it again and again, and I probably memorize it. So I made like, okay, I would just write the section ingredients and perhaps only the case laws, and I would remember the whatever judgments or whatever orders were important in the case law. So that is how I mostly prepared even contract and the IPCs.
Okay. Good. Very good. Very good. Now this again, tell me a little bit about the timeline. When are you graduate of? Which year you graduated?
So I graduated the Banaras Hindu University in 2019. I did my graduation from there. After that, I did my post graduation from the Indian Law Institute, which was done in 2022. So
Then you went into job, right?
yeah, yeah.
So,
Before that, also before joining ILI, I was working. After ILI, I started working with Indian Oil Corporation.
Indian Oil. Acha, another thing that I wanted to ask you is that with regard to GS paper 2, right? So how far do you think that GS paper 2 syllabus for you overlapped with law syllabus?
Actually, sir, it does overlap, to be honest. But I've given mains before, and my GS2 marks, like my optional paper 1 mark, were decent. They were the marks which most toppers of that time law were getting. So I was like, okay, this is decent marks. However, my GS paper 2 marks was not that good. So I was not able to understand why, because I have the same, it's the same constitution, everything is same.
Yes,
But
yes,
I realized that, GS2 is a political science paper, and if I load it too much with law, the question which kind of seeks opinion, or for that matter seeks enumeration, or any of thing, because what happens is, how my mind works, or for that matter a law student mind would work, is they see distribution of power, they see precedence power, and they just go ballistics on it. They would write articles, they would write Ram Javai Kapoor and whatnot, and they would finish that off. But this is not. I think that was a wrong approach for me. In GS2, you have to approach that paper like a political science paper, and not like a law paper, not like a constitutional law paper. And that is what that differentiation I think I tried to do this time by quoting people from the political science background, and not perhaps law and not jurists. So that distinction I did. But basics, I think, are, if you have done your constitutional law well, basics will be clear for political science as well. So that is there, sir.
okay. Because see, there are two type of group of student, right? Like there was one candidate last year, topper itself, right? 31 rank. So I asked
Mm.
him the same question, right? How did you differentiate it? He said, sir, I simply wrote law option type answer, right? He got
Yeah.
almost 127 or 120 or something like that.
Mm.
That year, he was among highest in GS paper.
Mm.
Last year, I asked one of the students, right? I think this Misra, right?
Mm.
I asked her, right? So she said, sir, I did not, I mean, I also wrote a law type answer, but I did not get very good marks. So there's a
Mm.
very two group of opinions. Some say,
Yes,
okay, I
sir.
got very good marks.
Yeah,
Some say,
it's very subjective. I think it depends on the examiner as well, sir. I think if perhaps if you show like, okay, you know the law as well, they would probably grant you more marks. And if you just go law, and they would not. Sir, it's very subjective. Even I'm
very,
not an
yeah.
expert.
So
That
one who is checking if he has a law degree, he will give you good marks, right?
yes,
If you
yes,
do not have a law degree, he might, say that you are trying to oversmart, right?
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
that I. Okay, now a lot of people would be watching this video, right? So if they want to prepare, especially someone from uh, your background, right? So what message would you give them? Where to start, or how to come up with this long gaps where you could not qualify prelims? How to get motivated? How did you do it actually?
So, sir, I think prelims is currently it has become, you have to, there's no replacement for obviously the hard work. You have to be you have to know everything a good aspirant knows, be it current affairs or static. But apart from that, it is also how you perform that day, because there is a lot of application of mind in the prelims these days, and you have to very carefully analyze the questions, and arrive at an answer. So I've done fairly well in prelims as far as I'm concerned. But as for mains, I think even this year, because as I told you, I go in the mains mode pretty late. So I'm not able to write a lot of answers, like test series basically.
Mhm.
So mock test or such things. So that is one, and I this is something I do not know the marks yet, but still I would say that this is something which I have struggled with. And when you're writing that exam, you realize that if you would have written this answer before, it would have saved you. First, it would have saved you some time, and similarly, it would have given you more marks at the same time. So, I think the catch for mains is that you should definitely write a lot of answers. And if I were to appear in this exam again, I would also concentrate a lot on
No,
writing.
you should appear again. You should appear again. Okay,
Yes.
you have age with you. You do appear next time again. So what about motivation? Because I have seen students, obviously, I come across students far more. So what happens that 2 years they could not qualify prelims. They're very good in law, right? I have seen copies and said that okay, you will qualify. Such good student, very nice and decent copies, but they could not qualify prelims, right? So that is so. Is there something a special way that you can do as a lawyer? I mean, as a law graduate, that will help you qualify prelims more, or is it same for everyone? It doesn't matter.
Sir, I think as a law graduate, we have attention to detail, like because that's how we fight and actually
Mm.
argue in most of the cases we have. Because if you see any case, even defendant is making out case wherein he's right, and the petitioner is also stating that he's right. So the
That's
entire
important.
game is of interpretation and loopholes and analysis. So if you're a good student, if you're a good student of law, you would have that knack for understanding, being very very attentive to detail, and that always helps in prelims, in my opinion. And secondly, one thing which I can give for cracking prelims specifically is that do n number of mocks. There should not be any limit. I could not, that is what I was saying, I could not write a lot of mocks for mains, but I did a lot of mocks for prelims, because before the exam, if you build that knack of actually tackling a MCQ, then it becomes very easy for you in the exam, because exam is like very pressure situation. But if you've done what 10,000, 7,000, 5,000 MCQ before that on different subject, of course it will be not similar. But if you've done a number of MCQs, it always helps. So I think one mantra for clearing prelims is you have to write a lot of mocks. And what I used to do from my experience, I don't know how much it helps out, but I'll just share that 1 month before the prelims, I used to start I used to have this bracket of 9 to 11, which is paper one of your actual exam. So
Mm.
every day for the last month, 9 to 11, I have to write a paper, like a mock test, and then probably check whatever
That's
marks it.
consistent.
So you are 9 to 11 because you train your mind ultimately. So in 9 to 11 on that day, you are in that mood that, okay, this is nothing new. I have done this for last 30 days. This is just a new paper, nothing else. If you have that, I think that'll definitely help you. And of course, there is the prelims are really dynamic. So nobody should beat themselves up that they're not able to clear, because the prelims, because more than test of knowledge, I think it has become test of your how attentive and how mindful you are in that 1 2 hours of examination hall. So you have to ensure that you are that, and you're also at the same time you've prepared well. I think you'll be able to sail through.
Nerve, they test your nerve, right? So how you are holding up, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, so that ends our discussion, Ashish. But again, once the result comes, right, and I will definitely, get your the marriage ceremony and all going on, right? Now after that, when
So
you
no,
are
sir, I
ready.
am not getting married,
No,
sir.
no, I know. I know your
Yeah.
sister is getting married. I know, right? That's what I was referring to. Now you will get married, after give one more attempt, then you get married, right? Do not do not be in a hurry. So what after that, come and take a sort of a class, 1 hour so of the
Sure,
class
sure, sure,
with
sir.
the students, right?
Definitely.
Toppers talk sort of that how to prepare for law, right? Because your perspective, see, actually, what happens that a lot of people who are in job, right? They sometimes either they do not manage time well, or there's in the job they become so sort of engaged that they don't have time actually, right, to
Yes, sir.
study. But you have done it, right? So that is something very quite remarkable, very disciplined man. Okay, and also you have very good understanding of how to study from the college that itself, right? How to build on the notes that you have studied in college, right? So that is also quite remarkable. Okay, so when
I
it
would
comes
just
to,
add one thing, sir, if you do allow.
yeah, please.
About how you were saying preparing with the job. I think preparing itself is a full-time job. I would give it that. And but still, if you have a job and you want to prepare with it, the first thing you need to have, two things I think you need to have, is that one, you need to have a lot of confidence in yourself, and you need to trust the process, because ultimately trusting the process here means that you understand the process wherein the chances of failure is more than 99%. Once you accept that fact, it becomes very easy. You're not anxious. You are understanding that this is the process wherein, okay, I will give my best. I will give my 6 hours, morning 3 hours, maybe after work 3 hours every day. And if I fail, I fail. So if that sets in your mind, then you become very less anxious. You just involve yourself in the process, and you keep doing it every day till the exam day. So I think there should be a trust, utmost trust in the process. And secondly, if there is a mentorship available, or you have a set of books, you stick by that. I understand social media and whatnot, you'll get n number of ads these days. I don't know, everywhere, in newspapers, Instagram, you open
The
any
whole
website.
Delhi metro is filled up with that, right?
Exactly. So you will get so many advertisements wherein they will tell you that, okay, this is the place where you will crack the exam. I'm
I am
sorry.
the one who will get you cracked it.
Yes, yes. I'm sorry to break it to you. I hope you already know this is not going to happen. You will crack the exam. Whoever you've chosen as your mentor, please trust them. Please trust yourself. Trust the process, and this will come to you. So that is all I'll say, sir.
Because I could remember, I told you in the personal
Yes, sir.
call also that there was one student from, I think, IUCL or I think Gale,
Yes,
posted in
sir.
Dimapur, right? I think last to last year.
Yes, sir.
There was one more candidate from, I think, NTPC, right? He was in
Mhm.
NTPC.
Mhm.
Same law officer, right? Both of them, after 1 year called me, ki, sir, time name will write, it's simply impossible, some sort of that. So your
Mhm.
case is really very unique, right? You have, done it by that. So that will be especially for people who are in job, right? That will really, really help them.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
so let us end this, Ashish, right? And whenever result comes, so please do come and take a hour or so of class, right? And give them some, because, students, candidates, even if I say the same thing and you say the same thing, right? So your, would have much more weightage, right? They will say, oh, he's the someone who have already done it, right? So that is something, more trust develops, right?
Sir.
So in that sense, please do come
Yes,
and,
sir.
and take a class or something like that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you, De facto IAS, for all the amazing emails, I would say, because that is my engagement so far with De facto IAS, but it has been amazing. Be it CLD, be it the article
Current
updates,
affairs, yes.
because
Single article.
there is absolutely nobody else doing that. And let me put that on record. This is like a niche that this
I
institute has.
have I have perfected, right? De facto
Yes,
IS
yes,
people has
yes.
perfected.
Actually, absolutely. Because there is absolutely nobody in the market who would literally give you such articles, quality articles to read on the subject which relates to UPSC.
Pinpoint. Just
Yeah,
UPSC, nothing else.
exactly. Otherwise, what happens is we get articles, but it meandered somewhere else, and you start reading, it becomes a research article in itself. This is where you get the substance
So well
ready
put.
for you for this exam. So this is amazing what you're doing, sir. Thank you so much. And yes, that is all I'll say.
Yes, and come to Delhi, then we'll wait. Okay.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much.